Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Backyard Cigars. And today's question is, what makes for a celebratory cigar? What kind of cigar is suitable for celebrations? Now, today is a beautiful and wonderful day. It's 73 degrees. There isn't a cloud in sight. It seems the blue skies just travel on and on in the distance with no end in sight. And I thought to myself, what better thing to do than to touch on the subject of what constitutes as a celebratory cigar. Now, originally this conversation came up with a friend back when LeBron James won the NBA championship of 2020 with the Lakers, and there was a mention of the type of cigars that he was smoking and some of his teammates were smoking, the majority of them being from Liga Privada, number 9, Instant Classic, Undercrown, Shade, Year of the Rat, all worthy cigars, all cigars that are deemed excellent cigars, no doubt about it. But the folks at Reddit politely said that if they were winning an NBA championship, they might have chosen, better cigars. There's no other way to put it. They would have chosen better cigars worthy of celebrating an NBA championship. And so I tell my friend, look, there's a lot to a celebratory cigar. If you go online, there are some sites that will lead you to believe that unless you paid $20 or more for that cigar, or if it's not a unicorn, then it isn't worthy of being considered a celebratory cigar. Now, granted, a lot of these unicorn cigars, especially the ones with the high price tags, are exceptionally brilliant cigars and smoke incredibly well and are worthy and deserving of being considered celebratory cigars, whether you're saving them for the birth of a child, a graduation, a promotion, a birthday, an anniversary of any kind. They are worth it. But a celebratory cigar doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be a unicorn. Not by definition. A celebratory cigar is any cigar that you deem fit to celebrate with. And today, I pulled out a cigar out of my special humidor because I wanted to smoke something a little more special. In my case, what I considered to be a little more special was just not necessarily a unicorn, but a cigar that I've been saving tucked away for a nice occasion. And I'm smoking La Flor Dominicana 25th anniversary. And this cigar, which I will tell you more about in the next few minutes, has been sitting in my humidor for about, I would say 4 months, maybe 5. At 65-66 RH. It's been doing quite well, and today was its day. Now, while I aim to tell you a little bit more about the cigar, I also aim to touch on the subject of the celebratory cigar. In the olden days, cigars were synonymous with celebrations because, well, they were all the rage, and it was an understanding amongst men that if you were promoted or if you had a child, that you should reach for a fine cigar. But let's be realistic about this. Not all of us keep $20 to $30 cigars in our humidors tucked away for special occasions. And not all of us necessarily trust that $20 or $30 cigar to perform well for said special occasion. So some of us actually rely on our tried and true favorites. And some of them may not even cost more than $10. In some occasions, you have a gentleman that might say, well, listen, I trust my $8 cigar and it smokes well and I love it. So I deem it a celebratory cigar, and when I need to celebrate something, I go to it and it never disappoints me. So as you can see, you don't need an expensive cigar to celebrate with. But the idea of ultra premium, unicorn, expensive cigars isn't lost on manufacturers and how people gravitate towards them, because the thought of smoking something more expensive or more expensive than what you normally smoke indicates that it is worthy of a special occasion. So in other words, some individuals have a habit of thinking, and I'm not, I'm completely guilty of this, that if it is a special moment in time, if it is a special occasion, I'm going to smoke something a little bit pricier or a little bit rarer than what I normally smoke, just to mark the occasion. Now, it could be something that I've smoked in the past, which would put it under the umbrella of tried and true classic, or it could just be something that I've never had and that I anticipate to be good and that may be expensive. Any way you cut it, at the end of the day, a celebratory cigar is the cigar you choose to celebrate with. Hands down, period, end of story. And now to the cigar. The cigar has a very, very good aroma. That's one of the first things that I noticed about the cigar. As I lit it, it was just pouring out this incredibly rich, wonderful smelling smoke. It's 7x52, and it's reminiscent of the Lito Gomez small batch in its size and in its Colorado wrapper coloring, and the band as well, with the initials LFD. Slight problem occurring here with the burn line, which may need a little touch up. Other than that, it's pretty good. And this cigar uses an Ecuadorian Corojo wrapper. If that sounds familiar, it's the same wrapper that is used on the Andalusian Bull. The binder and the filler are from the Dominican Republic, from the select farms of Lito Gomez. I'm believing that he uses tobacco from La Canela in Tamboril. And this cigar, although it says 25th anniversary cigar, it's actually celebrating the 25 years that he and his wife Inez Gomez have been in the tobacco business, not necessarily the 25 years of LFD, because LFD started in 96, but he started a company 2 years prior, Los Libertadores, the Liberators, and that marked their beginnings in the tobacco business. So they're celebrating that, which is a great celebration to have, celebrating, a partnership, a marriage, and their initial beginning in the tobacco business, which has garnered them many awards along the way and allowed them to prosper, not just to their benefit, but to our palates as well. So I'm going to smoke a little bit more of this and I'll come right back. So it's a medium-bodied cigar, full of a lot of flavors. In the beginning, what I started to get was a sweet tobacco with a hint of cinnamon, baking spices, and now as I progressed into the first inch or so, I'm getting a little bit of a graham cracker. It's like a sweet graham cracker, and it's got a little bready note to it as well. The cinnamon hint kind of tapered off a little bit. I was getting that in the beginning. and it's quite delightful so far. Have to admit that the draw seems just a tad bit tight. I'm hoping that it will loosen up, just open up a bit, and it will move in the right direction as I smoke this down. Now, as I just took a puff, I got a bit of pepper in that last puff, and it's delivering on a lot of different flavors. I gotta say, they're celebrating 25 years in the tobacco business, so I know that from what I've read of Lido Gomez, Ines Gomez, they go for the very finest tobacco that they have on hand in order to craft these cigars. Cigars like this, like the Lido Gomez small batch, uh, the Cabinet Oscuro, just a number of their cigars that are considered special, that are considered ultra premium, as some might say, deliver with a lot of flavors and just a lot of complexity and an overall just a fun ride for us cigar smokers. I'm really digging this. I'm going to take some more time with it. As you can see, there's a lot to smoke here, and I want to give you a little bit more information. Thank you. Look, you just can't let online sites tell you what cigar you should choose to celebrate with. You really have to make that decision on your own. You can set aside certain smokes that you prefer for celebrations, and you can make those choices just based on what you like, not on what they're saying you should seek, but what you like. So if you smoke a lot of La Flor Dominicana cigars, as I do, and you trust the brand and you want to have some of their cigars on hand to celebrate with, maybe you've tried some of their ultra premium stuff, you liked it, so you buy one, you put it away. That's your choice. You can't let anyone tell you. Maybe you love a Corom Double Gordo and that's a $4 cigar, but you smoke that and it could have an extra special meaning for you. That's another thing that it gets overlooked, is that someone might say, well, why is he smoking a Double Gordo Corom $4 cigar on his birthday? Well, maybe something special happened while smoking that cigar. Or maybe there's a special story behind the particular cigar that you've chosen to smoke for that celebratory occasion. And it could have a sentimental story and not even mean that the cigar, in terms of quality, may not be as high rated, but it may have sentimental value to you, or it may take you down memory lane, as certain cigars do for me. And if those cigars create that type of feeling within you, then they become special and automatically are classified as a cigar that I can light up and celebrate with, regardless of the fact that it may be a $4, $5, $6 cigar, but it means something to you. And it may not mean anything to someone else, and someone else may look down on you and thumb their nose and say you could have done better. But again, it's about you. It's about you as a smoker. It's about you and your preferences and what you deem is right for you. So I've always stood behind that. When people make a choice and they select and they make that choice and it's overwhelming, that has to be respected. That always has to be respected. So if you choose a $5 cigar as the cigar that you're going to light up, and you get a normal everyday whiskey and you crack that open for the birth of your first child, and you deem that to be good, then it's good, and no one can tell you better. It may be that some of us can say, well, I've had that cigar and it's awful, but it's not our place to tell you. So when we decide on something, and we collectively agree within ourselves that this is the choice that we've made, we stick to that, and we honor that, and we respect that. And so you enjoy what you choose to enjoy. It's just a lot of sweetness coming from this cigar. I got a little bit of hay, in a hint of hay. That graham cracker taste is still there. Slight traces of pepper. I'm getting cedar as well. It's got a nice cedary backbone. Yeah, that just came out, and I got a mild sweetness, cedar, baking spices, little graham cracker, and the hay comes and goes. I'll get it here and there, but interesting cigar. As always, LFD provides interesting cigars for you, and they're always challenging our palate with their cigars. So it comes as no surprise to me that this cigar would do the same. I still feel that the draw is a little tighter than what I would like, but it's adequate. And it's a medium body smoke, delivering a full amount of flavors. The burn line is, as you can see, it's behaving. I had a little issue with it earlier on, but now it's totally behaved. No timeouts. And this is my special cigar for the day. A beautiful, special day with 70-degree weather and all kinds of wonderful things that are yet to come, because this is an uncharacteristic can't even get the words out, but this is just not a normal day, right? It's 73 degrees in November. The leaves are still falling, signaling that fall is well upon us, and winter is quickly approaching. And yet, for this one brief moment, we can say that there's just this breath of fresh air and this wonderful, well, there was a lot of sunshine earlier, and all of these blue skies, and it's just a great day to sit back and enjoy a good cigar. I'm having a little, this is not a pairing. I'm having a little fest beer, German fest beer. I have sips of that and some sparkling water on the side, just because it's a semi-dry finish here with this cigar, but it's not a dry finish. It's not overly dry, and I'm just enjoying this. Yeah, I expected a more fuller bodied cigar, being LFD. I always say that, but they really just wanted to make a nice cigar with a medium body feel to it that captured a lot of flavor and didn't overwhelm you in terms of strength and nicotine power. So they've done that. I'm gonna take a little more time with this. It's got a nice oily sheen to it. In some sections you've got some veins, but nothing crazy going on here. Good construction. I'll be right back. This is turning out to be a solid, good choice for a special occasion cigar. It has delivered on complexity. It has delivered on construction. It has delivered in a lot of familiar flavors that I associate with really good LFD cigars. The baking spices, the traces of pepper, the sweet graham cracker, the cedar notes, everything kind of just moving like a well-oiled train and transitioning effectively, where you start smoking the cigar and you're getting earthy tobacco with some sweetness and some cedar, and then you continue and you're getting a little bit of that graham cracker flavor, and then you're also getting the cedar hints with hints of hay and tobacco sweetness. And it's just, not lacking in anything, because if you're a pepperhead, you've got good amount of traces of pepper in the finish and the baking spices, which really give this almost a holiday feel type cigar to it, because it just incorporates a lot of those flavors that really remind you of the holidays. And the sweetness to it, it's not cloyingly sweet. It's just enough to let you know that it's there. And when I think about how I feel as I'm smoking the cigar, I'm thinking it's accompanying the good feelings that I already have, which is absolutely what a special cigar should do. It should complement the good feelings that you're experiencing. It should complement the occasion that you are marking, that you are celebrating. And it should carry that good vibe, because if not, then what is it doing? It's just be dampening the mood. So that's why I understand when folks say, well, listen, I'm not going to go chasing down a $30 Padron and put it away for a special occasion, when I know that I've got this cigar, which I love, and I got it ready to go whenever I need it. Totally understand. But I'm going to take a few more puffs, let you know what I'm thinking of these last puffs, and then I'm going to be saying hasta la vista, hasta el próximo día. Little more pepper, cedar, tobacco sweetness, baking spices. It's remaining more or less the same. It's just the level and the intensity of certain flavors that you get, where at some points you got more of the graham cracker, and now I'm getting a little bit more of the spices and the pepper. It's just really moving along very well. If I had to say one negative thing about the cigar, was that the draw was a little tight to start off, and I did end up having to give a little poke. I'm not saying it was, I don't think it was that it absolutely needed it, but I felt, let me just give it a little poke just to, get it moving, and it did the trick. But even with that, I think that it was rolled slightly tight, but it's not stopping me from enjoying the cigar in any way. And it wasn't plugged. That's what I was trying to say. So an enjoyable cigar on an enjoyable day. Beautiful weather. It's raining leaves behind me, but that's the only kind of rain I got. And I just want to tell everybody, thank you for watching Backyard Cigars. Thank you for listening. And until tomorrow, until next time.